All right, Coach, you and your Rambelles softball program took a round trip to the Sooner State. We took on Cameron and we were able to sweep them over at third place, and of course, then had that big matchup that everybody was waiting for against Oklahoma Christian, and probably a lot of people expected you were able to split with them, of course, in those two matchups. Let's talk to you about your team's performance over the weekend.
Well, a lot to talk about. So first and foremost, let's just talk about the trip to Cameron and Oklahoma Christian. That has been by far the most difficult two teams to go play since both of them have become in the Lone Star Conference. It's just, when you go to Cameron, weird things happen, and they've got quality teams. The wind seems to blow out there all the time, and it's just been a difficult place for us to go win. We had lost, now this is Angelo State softball, we don't say this about a lot of places arrogantly. We have lost 6 in a row at their place, so that's not something that we're used to. There's no place that we go to and we go, we won 2 games. It was not pretty, it was ugly, but we won 2 games there. So that was big, it really was, and I was frustrated with the way we hit. We didn't hit up to our standards. We did not have great at-bats. We chased pitches out of the zone, which is something that we have not done all year, but we won 2 games at Cameron. So end of the day, you got to look back and go, hey, we actually won on this field again. So that was nice, but a little frustration offensively. Now that's a team that had come in, man, they've been swinging it. I think they had scored 29 runs in their last 3 games, but they had also been giving up a ton of runs. So it was exactly the opposite. It was a pitcher's duel almost. Back and forth game in game 1. I think we jumped up. Well, yeah, Abby Brand hit a home run to give us the lead, and then they battled back, and next thing you know, we're down 3-1 in the 4th or 5th, and it ended up going to extra innings, and Zoe Cifuentes got the big single to give us the lead there in the 9th inning, and then Addie Ewing was really sharp in relief. She did a great job, but I was very proud of our pitchers. Ashley battled, they had good at-bats against her, and she battled for however long she went, and then Addie came in and kind of shut the door on them a little bit. But to shut their offense down the way they've been swinging it here recently, I mean, they scored 13 against Texas A&M Kingsville. They scored 20 on Tuesday against Oklahoma Baptist, who is a ranked team. So it was very good to go out and do what we did in the circle, and our defense was pretty solid, made some big plays, had some big catches in the outfield to survive and to be able to get both of those. Game 2, Maddie Ruiz was sharp. She was really good. We handed her the ball, and she threw a 5-hitter. Which was massive for us, and then Zoe hit a huge home run early in the game to give us the lead, and then Carly Manning beat out an infield single to give us the extra cushion there late in the game. So that was big. Again, it was a doubleheader where we didn't perform offensively up to the way that we should have, but man, we pitched it and we played enough defense to get out of there with 2 wins, which really was big. So moving on to then to Oklahoma Christian, like I said, yeah, of course that was the big one. We had a 1-game lead on them in the standings, and they've got the preseason pitcher of the year, Jill Dixon. She's probably the best pitcher in the conference, and we went out and we had really good at-bats against her. But, she did her thing and was able to get out of some jams. They played really good defense, and we did drop that game 4-2, or 9-2, but it was a 4-2 game in the 6th. We had a really good game. We had our chances to tie it up in the 5th. Had runners at 2nd and 3rd, no out, in the meat of our order coming up, and we couldn't get it done. So it was a loss, but it looks like it was a blowout, but it wasn't. It was a 4-2 game in the 6th inning, and then they just kind of put some hits together there and blew it open. And that facility, beautiful, gorgeous facility, but it's a difficult facility to play in as well. It's extremely big outfield. Their gaps are huge. It's bigger than most Division II or Division I. It's just a big field, and the outfielders have a lot of ground to cover. The sun's always going to be an issue the way it sits, and it gave us some problems. The wind was blowing kind of right to left, out to left, and the ball just got up and took off. So it caused some issues, but Again, I think we continued to adapt and played well throughout the remainder of the game. At the beginning of the game, we had some issues. It's just one of those games where everything started off wrong. We had a tech issue with our pitch calling system, and it wouldn't work. So we're kind of frantically here in the middle of the inning having to talk to the umpire and to let us switch. We had a backup. We had the cards, the old-fashioned cards that we go to. So first time all year that's happened. Of course, it happened at Oklahoma Christian, and next thing you know, we're down 3-0. So, but we just continued to battle, and again, we had a chance to tie that game up, and they blew it open late, and took care of that one. Game 2, big game. They come out, score early on us again. We go down 4-0, and then we just continue to battle. First base position for us right now has been a struggle offensively. We haven't got a lot of production. We went to Penelope Hurtado in that game 2, and she hit a huge 2-run bomb in the 5th inning to make it a 4-2 game. And then we got back-to-back doubles from Kylie Forney and Carly Manning. Kylie had a struggle all weekend, so that was big to get her a big double, and then Carly drove her in with another double to make it a 4-3 game. And then going into the 6th, I really don't remember. We had runners on 2nd and 3rd. Pinch ran Alexa Couto, who is our fastest kid off the bench, and we save her for special occasions that we need her, and put her at second base there. And Abby Brand laid down a perfect squeeze bunt that they try to make the play at the plate. We slide in safe, the ball dribbles away, and Alexa scores all the way from second to give us the 5-4 lead. And then Maddie Ruiz in relief was again just phenomenal. Came in. They led off the 7th with a double, and it's like, oh no. And then they have a bunt that literally bunts it and pops it over our pitcher's head. So here we go again with this Oklahoma thing where it's just a struggle to win game. Weird things happen. So now here they are with 2nd and 3rd, no outs. A single probably wins the game for them. And we get a pop-up to short, we get a pop-up to 3rd, and then Maddie, full count, makes a big pitch and strikes their kid out to seal the victory. So that was huge. It was huge to be able to go get 3 out of 4 on the road in Oklahoma. It was huge to split with Oklahoma Christian and keep that 1-game lead in the conference standings, and we had to go on the road to them. So it was really big. As frustrating as it still was, man, we went 3-4 on that road trip. It's the toughest road trip of the year, more than likely, and we put ourselves still in pretty good or really good shape in the conference standings. We're 1 game behind West Texas A&M. The good thing is West Texas A&M and Oklahoma Christian still have to play again. So hopefully we can get some luck, maybe a split there. I don't know. There's a lot of games to be played. But we put ourselves in good position. It's a trip where really and truthfully, you look at the results, we could have went 0-4. We really could have, but we went 3-1. So that's something that I'm very proud of.
And going the week, you were preparing to play doubleheaders on back-to-back days, something a little out of the ordinary. So just how did the mindset change, if at all?
Well, we didn't want to throw as Ashley as long as we had to in game 1 of the Cameron series. We were hoping to be able to get maybe 3 or 4 out of her and then get her out. Because I was hoping that we'd go out and swing it the way everybody else had been swinging it against Cameron. But again, it didn't work out that way. So she had to throw more pitches than we were hoping. But once you get into it, the plan goes out the door, and it's just try to win each game and every game, and we'll deal with tomorrow when tomorrow gets here. It's softball, and these girls are used to it. They do it all their lives, playing back-to-back. So we play tournament play at the beginning of the year, 3 tournaments where we're used to playing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 5 games. So it's nothing unusual. The travel included is different, So, I just want to give a shout out to the 3 teams involved. So, Oklahoma Christian, Cameron, and UTPB, we all 4 agreed to move this and shift and start earlier on Friday because we're going to play Saturday. So I just, those coaches and administrator, I appreciate everybody working to make it to where we didn't have to play yesterday in that brutal wind in Oklahoma where it was 50 degrees and dropping compared to, at least, I know baseball had to deal with the wind here, but at least it was still in the 70s. In Oklahoma, it wasn't. When we got up that morning and left, you walked out of the hotel, it was like, okay, the cold front's here as well as the wind. So that would have been brutal having to play in that. So, I thought our kids handled it really well. We got off the field at a decent hour on Friday, got a good meal, got plenty of rest, drove up an hour and a half up to Edmond, got a good lunch, and really I thought that our players handled it really well.
And you mentioned it, game 2 of your doubleheader against Oklahoma Christian, you were down 4-0, you then score 5 runs in the 5th and 6th innings combined. That's a trend we've noticed lately. Your team's ability to thrive late in the game and score and either come back or just turn a close game into a rout. What does this say about your team's ability to deliver in the clutch late and thrive under pressure?
Well, it's good, and I think it shows some leadership and some confidence in themselves. I wish we weren't down, in that situation that late in the game. I wish we could score earlier in those games, but we talk about it all the time. It's not over until 21 outs have been made. There's no shot clock out here. There's no game clock out here. Until they get us out, we still got a chance. And it seems to, a lot of times it starts with a hit by pitch. I know Tatiana got hit by pitch in one of the games. I don't remember which one it was right now, to start an inning where we scored 2 or 3. I feel like it was Oklahoma Christian. But those little things that we preach and we talk about are big. I do know in one of the game that we came back, Cameron Leffler led it off with a walk, and it was a full count walk, and she had a good at bat and drew the walk, and then Penelope hit the 2-run home run to make it a 4-2 game. So we just you gotta continue to take one bat at it. The old cliche, one at bat at a time, one pitch at a time, and all that good stuff. And hopefully our talent eventually will take over.
Coach, it's hard to believe that we're already halfway through your regular season in terms of games played. Actually, well over it. And this is something I kind of carry on with baseball, but now that we're already at this point in your season, do you believe this team has been able to establish an identity with all these new faces on your squad? And if so, what do you think that identity is?
I think so. I think our pitching depth is something that you can look at. Oklahoma Christian has Jill Dixon, and Jill Dixon is really good. But again, we had good at bats, but she's really good. And their number 2 is really good. But after, I feel like our depth is a little bit better, maybe. Than theirs in the circle, but at the same time, I think that we've developed the fact that we can play, that we can run a little bit. Just like Oklahoma Christian, very talented. They're a very talented team. There's somebody that we're going to have to deal with in the playoffs, and that's what Coach Rodriguez and I talked about. Hey, great series, and I'm sure it's not going to be the last time we see each other this year. But I think that we just are talented. And we're a top Lone Star Conference team. Are we talented enough to win it all at the end of the year? Who knows, because this conference is, again, this conference, and the top teams are still dominant. And, before I forget, I've got to talk about our outfield play. Our outfield play has been phenomenal. Tatiana, in particular, made some great plays this weekend. We talked about the facilities and how big Oklahoma Christian is. And even the Oklahoma Christian, or the Cameron game, she made a couple of really good plays to go and get some balls that off the bat you're going, uh-oh. And, she's been phenomenal. I mean, that girl was a third baseman coming in out of high school, and here she has become a Gold Glove center fielder in the Lone Star Conference. So what her and Cameron Leffler and Carly Manning, Carly could very easily be our center fielder. She's a phenomenal outfielder as well. So when you got Tati and her out there on the left side, center left, it's hard for balls to get down with those two and their speed and their ability to go track balls and go get them. So they've just been phenomenal for us. They really have. And shout out to them, because I don't talk about the outfield play a whole lot because I'm an infield guy and I work with the infielders most of the time. But I had to remind myself to talk about them because they just had phenomenal weekend in difficult conditions with those facilities. What was your question?
You kind of answered it already. Just kind of, how do you feel your team's identity has established itself with all these new faces?
I think you can just look at us and go, okay, it's a team that can pitch, it's a team that can hit, and they got team speed. They're going to be tough to deal with.
Fantastic. And then this weekend, looking ahead, you have UT Dallas at home. I know it's only 2 games instead of 4 this weekend, so a little bit of a lighter load in terms of game total for your team. But talk to me about that doubleheader with the comments.
Well, it's the first time, obviously, we've ever played them. New to the conference, new to Division II. Don't know a whole lot about them. I really don't. We're going to try to get into them this week. I did look at the stats this morning in the conference, and they are hitting like 323 as a team. So they haven't won a lot of games. They haven't played as many games as most of us have, so that's kind of unusual. But we're going to be at home. We're going to take advantage of that. Hopefully, they're going to have to come here and try to figure out how to beat us. And a team, it looks like, that's having some issues in the circle. Their team ERA was over 7, which is massive in college softball, where ours is 2 point something. So hopefully we can take advantage of that and swing the bat up and down the lineup again. We have some hitters who are in a little bit of a funk right now. We're not in a great spot offensively right now. So hopefully we can take advantage of being at home and try to get back on track. And unusual weekend for us, only having 2 games. So we'll practice this week, even though it's spring break. They're still here, and then we'll give them the weekend off next weekend after the series. And and then we have another week where we only play Kingsville at their place next Saturday. So a weird little stretch for us. So we'll try to take that time and focus on some conditioning. And, rest has kind of been something that we've been worried about. Now we can get back to grinding on them a little bit and working on their bodies again and trying to get back into a little bit of shape, because it's hard to maintain that throughout the season. So we'll do a little extra conditioning this week. They probably don't like hearing that. Sorry, ladies, but it's got to happen, and get ready for that stretch down the second half.
Awesome, Coach. Thank you for your time. Good luck this weekend.